Imagine standing on a path where no path should be. Too straight, too level for a forest trail. Beneath your feet, hidden under moss and leaves, lie the ghosts of railroad ties. You can almost sense the phantom rumble of a long-gone locomotive, a spectral whistle echoing through the trees. This was once a lifeline, a steel artery pumping life into a community. Now, it's a forgotten scar, a whisper of a time when this woodland buzzed with commerce. The air is heavy with damp earth, a stark contrast to the coal smoke that once filled it. Follow this phantom railway, and you'll find what it left behind, a main street frozen in time. A general store with vacant windows, a hotel with a sagging porch. This is a ghost town, the silent partner to the abandoned route. These ruins are more than relics, they're open-air museums of dreams that have come and gone. Walking these empty streets is like stepping into a story with no final chapter. A reminder that for every new beginning, something is left behind. Sometimes the most profound discoveries are found not in cities, but in the silence of what remains. The railroad was the engine of 19th century America, a promise that shrank distances and built towns. With every mile of track, new communities sprang up, their fate tied to the daily arrival of the train. The locomotive brought mail, supplies, settlers, and news. It carried away timber, coal, and crops. For a town like Thurmond, West Virginia, the railroad was everything, a bustling hub where fortunes were made and lost. The depot was the heart, surrounded by banks, hotels, and saloons, all thriving on the constant flow of people and goods. But the world changed. Diesel engines meant fewer stops, and the coal industry declined. Passenger trains stopped coming, then freight trains just rumbled through. The depot fell silent, and the town's purpose faded. Thurmond's story is echoed in countless railroad towns, born of steam and steel, and left behind by progress. The tracks that once meant prosperity became markers of isolation. As the last train left, it took the town's future with it, leaving only empty buildings and memories. These places remind us that the technologies that build can also destroy. The iron horse's reign ended, but its ghost lingers in the silence. Before railroads, America moved at the speed of water. Canals were the lifelines of the young nation. Towns like Lockport, Illinois, thrived along these man-made rivers, their fortunes rising with the flow of barges and goods. The locks were marvels of engineering, and the town stone buildings were built from canal limestone. Life moved to the rhythm of the waterway, slow but steady. But the golden age of canals was brief. The steam locomotive arrived, faster and more reliable. Railroads could go where canals could not, and soon, cargo shifted from barge to boxcar. The towpaths grew quiet, the locks rusted, and the channels filled with silt. Towns faced a stark choice: adapt or fade away. Some, like Lockport, survived by catching the railway. Many others withered. The canals, once symbols of ingenuity, surrendered to nature, their straight lines blurring into the landscape. The era of water gave way to the age of steel, leaving behind silent monuments to a forgotten mode of transport. Progress moved on, and the waterways ran dry. Their legacy lingers in the stones and the silence. The 20th century brought the automobile, and with it, the need for roads that could cross the continent. Route 66 became the most legendary, stretching from Chicago to Santa Monica, a symbol of hope and migration. Towns along the Mother Road thrived on travelers, with neon-lit motels, diners, and quirky attractions. Each stop was a vital part of the American road trip, their main streets pulsing with life. But the interstate highway system changed everything. Designed for speed, it bypassed the small towns that defined the old routes. For Route 66, this was a death sentence. The river of cars and money dried up overnight. Motels stood empty, diners saw only locals, and neon signs flickered out. Businesses closed, families moved on, and the towns became modern ghost towns. The vibrant main streets fell into a dusty slumber, bypassed by a world in a hurry. Route 66's story is one of boom, bust, and nostalgia. The road still calls to travelers, but its glory days are memories in the rearview mirror. The Mother Road's fading glory is a testament to the cost of progress. Sometimes the fastest route leaves the most behind. When a town's main artery of commerce is cut, decline ripples through the community. The first to go are the businesses serving travelers. Gas stations, motels, diners, boarded up and abandoned. Jobs vanish, tax revenue shrinks, and people, especially the young, move away in search of opportunity. Schools consolidate, post offices close, and the grocery store can't survive on a dwindling customer base. The main street becomes a gallery of empty storefronts, the sense of community fraying as institutions struggle. The town's identity fades. It becomes a place people are from, not a place people go. The silence is no longer peaceful. It's the sound of absence. Those who remain become keepers of memory, living history surrounded by ghosts of a vibrant past. They remember who ran the bakery, who owned the hotel, and what Saturday nights were like when the streets were full. The domino effect is heartbreaking, a community dismantled piece by piece by the march of progress. What's left is a quiet testament to what once was. When people leave, nature moves in, slowly, relentlessly reclaiming what was built. It starts with a dandelion in a cracked street, ivy climbing abandoned walls, moss softening old railroad ties. Over time, saplings root in gutters, roads blur under wildflowers, and forests close in overhead. The sounds of engines fade, replaced by birds and rustling leaves. Buildings become part of the ecosystem. A collapsed roof lets sunlight in. A hollowed hotel shelters wildlife. Rusted cars become trellises for wildflowers. Water seeps into foundations, turning stone to rubble. Nature doesn't just cover our creations, it dismantles them, piece by piece. The process is both melancholic and beautiful, a reminder of impermanence. We build, believing it will last, but nature always has the final say. Walking these spaces is witnessing a silent conversation between past and present. Here, the geometry of human design surrenders to the wild, creating haunting beauty. Not all forgotten pathways are lost. Some are reborn through creativity and preservation. The Rails to Trails movement has transformed miles of abandoned railways into public paths for walking and cycling. These trails offer unique journeys through history, with old trestle bridges and tunnels now serving hikers and cyclists. Historical markers tell the stories of the railroads and the communities they once served. Repurposing these corridors honors the past while creating new value for the present. Similarly, stretches of Route 66 have found new life as historic drives, with restored neon signs and classic diners drawing nostalgic travelers. Towns once on the brink have reinvented themselves as tourist destinations, living museums of roadside culture. These efforts are acts of collective memory, ensuring important stories aren't lost. Progress doesn't have to mean erasure. By finding new uses, we keep these stories alive. The journey continues, shaped by both memory and renewal. What do these silent towns and overgrown paths teach us? They're more than ruins. They're lessons in history, progress, and memory. For every thriving city, there's a ghost town in its shadow. For every superhighway, a forgotten road. These places remind us that progress is disruptive, always leaving something behind. Walking through them, you feel connected to those who lived and worked there, their hopes, disappointments, and stories. They challenge our obsession with speed, asking us to consider what's lost in the rush forward. Nature's quick reclamation humbles us, while preservation efforts show the power of memory. Saving an old sign or turning a rail line into a trail says these stories matter. Exploring these places is an investigation into the American soul, melancholy, but full of discovery. They force us to confront the true cost of progress and reflect on what we value. The past whispers that the journey is as important as the destination. If we listen, we might hear the stories the ghosts of progress are waiting to tell.